Congress has just 5 days to pass a spending bill and avoid a government shutdown. And now the White House is raising the stakes, threatening to go beyond traditional furloughs and laying the groundwork for mass firings across the government if a deal is not reached. NBC News obtained a memo from the Office of Management and Budget asking federal agencies to prepare a, quote, reduction in force plans, if possible. Joining us now, House Minority Whip and Democratic Congresswoman from Massachusetts, Katherine Clark. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's good to be here with you.
Is the government going to shut down?
So let's go over where we are. We have been talking to our Republican colleagues in the administration since March, when they passed their last budget extension, about how are we going to put the American people front and center in this budget. And if they have continued to really go after their health care, whether that's Medicaid or Medicare or veterans health programs, public health programs, closing of hospitals, nursing homes, ending medical research. That is the answer they want to give the American people when we know 60% of families are unable to afford the basics. And so we have been saying, come to the table, work with us. Let's not do this. Let's restore the cuts and lower costs for Americans.
You want to restore the cuts to health care, to Obamacare, the American Affordable Care Act.
Yeah. And listen, here's the reason why. People are telling us they're not making it. They are already struggling. Most households cannot afford the basics. And the answer that this administration and his loyalists in Congress have come up with is that we are going to cut your health care in order to provide tax breaks for extremely wealthy people. That is not a bargain that we can sit by and take. And we're saying, come to the table and work with us on a system that works.
They're framing it as a bill that they passed. They were elected to Congress. Donald Trump is in office. They passed this bill. And instead of giving more access to health care, they're claiming that the Democrats are trying to pull away funding for rural health care.
That is the most illogical, ridiculous. I mean, it is shameless they are even putting that forward. When you look at what Medicaid has done, when 42% of the hospitals, and this will hit first and hardest in rural hospitals, it is going to be a huge hit. $13 billion a year to rural hospitals coming out. And they're saying that if this $50 billion that they put in to help prop up rural hospitals from their own cuts, which are already decimating rural hospitals. We're already seeing closures in Minnesota and Virginia just last week. They're saying, well, we put $50 billion in and you want to take it away. I mean, it is preposterous.
So is the government going to shut down?
This is up to them. We're saying, come to the table. Let's talk about rural hospitals. Let's fund them.
Are all Democrats, you should know this, are all Democrats going to vote no on this bill if it's just a clean CR?
We just did. We just did.
You're going to do it again?
Well, it looks like we may have to, because this is what's happening. The president said, yes, I'll meet with you, and then said, no, I'm not going to bother. We were supposed to be in session on the 29th and 30th going into the end of the fiscal year on the 1st. Speaker Mike Johnson said, we're not coming back. So where's the commitment? When they're not just saying we're not going to negotiate with Democrats. That's not the point. They're saying we don't care what the American people.
Not furloughs. Are you worried about that? Are you worried about having some role in people losing their jobs?
The role here is an administration that's saying it's not enough. We're not satisfied with doubling people's premiums and taking away their ability to pay for it. We are now, as a punishment, who gets punished here? Democrats? It's the people.
The White House is talking about laying people off. Does that make you nervous, is what I'm asking?
It sure does, and that's why we're in this fight. They are saying to the American people, we have done nothing but make your life harder and more expensive. And now, instead of coming and negotiating with us on how we can make a better health care system for people, they're saying, oh, if you want to do that, not only are we not going to meet with you, we're going to fire more people. What they're saying to the American workers, the beatings will continue until morale improves. It is an outrageous statement for the President of the United States and for members of Congress who are elected by the very people they are hurting. These ACA subsidies, the tax credits that they have taken away, the premiums that are being increased by extraordinary amounts people can't afford, those notices go out October 1st. Where are you? You can't even come to D.C. and have any kind of dialogue with us? You're saying, no, we're just not going to show up? I mean, that is not blocking Democrats. That's blocking the voices of people at home. And people at home aren't making it. And I want to tell you about a mom that I met in my district. Her daughter has very severe disabilities. It is Medicaid that not only gives her a quality of life, it keeps her alive. The terror in these families is what is going to happen to them if they lose the ability to provide insurance. And that carries from those families to small business owners who are saying ACA is the way I have health insurance. If I lose that, I lose my business.
I want to ask you a bigger question about the party itself. There is a lot of frustration, even anger, with the leadership of Chuck Schumer in the Senate. There are a number of people who are running for Senate around the country on the Democratic ticket or want to run on the Democratic ticket who say they do not support Chuck Schumer. How do you feel about his leadership?
You know, I can tell you that the House and the Senate in this fight are absolutely unified. And we are unified around this issue. That is long past time that Republicans stop stealing Americans' health care in order to pay for tax
You're
cuts.
not really engaging on the question I asked.
Well, you know, listen, I'm a House person. And so what we have had hard conversations with the Senate saying we have to be unified in this moment. And we are. And that is something that I deeply appreciate about Dems at this moment. We have to stand up and re-inject the American people's what they are going through, the struggle they are facing into this process. And if the Republicans who control the House and the Senate and the White House decide to shut down in order to take away health care from people and then sprinkle on top mass firings as some sort of owning of the Dems, what a horrible place they are in as a party.
Minority Whip Katherine Clark, thank you so much for joining us in person. It's really good to have you here on set. Thank you for coming in.
Good to see you, Katie.
Good to see you as well.